Okay, now we have Anne was also asking about the mesh warp. And so let's open something else. And I know Renee wants to have some side-by-side look too, so we will be doing that. So the way, okay, let's just reopen that stripe image. And with the mesh warp, the way it works is that you get a mesh. That's why it's called like that. You can choose between two lines in the middle up to 31. And you can do that horizontally or vertically, same thing. And it says symmetric, or I guess in the case of symmetric, it's going to be horizontally and vertically. You can see all the mesh is going to be, they're going to be square. But what you can do with a mesh, I'm going to just have fewer lines, is that you will move one node and it will move the image underneath. There's a little bit more control in this case of how much you want to move. You want to move this way or a little bit less, and you can go back and readjust. That's one good advantage it has. However, there are some limitations. For example, one node, let's say that I want to get something close here. I cannot pass, my node here will not pass the vertical of another node. So I cannot do like a twirl, for example, like I did with the brush. It's not possible with the mesh. Also, with the mesh, you're kind of stuck and you have a lot of nodes to move. In this case here, I have only 45. But imagine if you have 20 by 20, you have 400. Another inconvenience is that you can't move anything off the edge. So if you want to get something off the edge, you have to make your canvas larger than your image, and you still have only a limited possibility. So let's undo this. So this one is 1000 by 550. I would have to go first, remove it from the background. So I have to promote it as a layer because otherwise I can't have any transparency. I would have to change the canvas size. So let's say I do 1400 and I add 400 on the other side. So it'll be 950, place that in the middle. So it's going to have 200 pixels on all sides. Now, if I want to move the edges, I can, because the first line or first row can be moved. But you're kind of stuck in between. You can't just go very small unless you do a lot of mesh, and then that means also a lot of movement. One thing you can try, and that not you can try, but one tip you can use is that if you hold the shift key, you can see the cursor changes. So this, in this case, the whole line will move or should move. Occasionally it doesn't grab, but I'll try another one. Oh, I think it's grabbing the other one. You can see how my horizontal line is moving and all the nodes on the line are moving at the same time. If I hold the control key, notice that the cursor is a little different. It's a curve. So in that case, it's going to curve from the center to to nothing at the end here. But the thing is that it's only going to be all the way there. So I can't just apply that to, let's say, the middle part. So it has some advantages if you want to make a ribbon, you want to make a distortion. The trick is often to have the nodes at the edges of your ribbon so that you can control the edges, because right now here it's really hard for me to adjust for the edge. So what I would have to do would be to either increase horizontally until I get something close to an edge, so then I can move it and I have a bit more control. I know where it goes versus having to move a node that is away from the edge and just kind of pulls it like a magnet. It's not as precise. So the more nodes you have, the more control you have, but also the more work you have. And sometimes you are going to be working and accidentally you kind of double click on one node and it applies and everything is back to 0. Lucky for you, if you do Control Z, you're back to where you were. But it's kind of scary when it happens if you've been tweaking those nodes for a long time. Because unlike a selection, it's not like you can say, I'm going to move that, move that, move that, and then I stop and I apply it and I continue, because then it's really not going to move the same way the second time around. Hey there! I hope you found this information helpful. If you're curious to dive deeper and explore more about PaintShop Pro, we've got a wealth of resources waiting for you in our membership area. There, you'll find in-depth classes, workshops, Q&A sessions, and much more to help you enhance your PaintShop Pro and digital scrapbooking skills. Feel free to check it out. The link is in the video description below. Thanks for watching and see you in the campus!